I sort through the donation boxes with practiced efficiency, my hands moving on autopilot after 3 years of working at Second Chance's thrift store in Chicago's South Loop. It's Tuesday morning, which means the weekend donations are finally making their way to the sorting room. Mrs. Chen, the store manager, likes everything processed by noon, so we can price and stock before the afternoon rush. Most of it is the usual fare. Clothes that smell like mothballs, chipped dishes, paperback novels with broken spines. Then my fingers close around something that makes me pause. If you're enjoying this story so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Drop a comment telling me where in the world you're watching from. I love hearing from you. A stuffed rabbit. Hand-stitched, clearly loved, with one ear slightly longer than the other and button eyes that are mismatched, navy blue and forest green. The fabric is soft velvet, faded from years of handling, and there's an embroidered name on the left foot in delicate script, Lucia. Something about it tugs at my chest. Maybe it's the care that went into making it, or the way you can tell a child treasured this. I hold it up to the fluorescent lights, examining the stitching. Whoever made this knew what they were doing. This wasn't some factory toy. This was love sewn into fabric. That's going in the damaged pile, Mrs. Chen calls from across the room. One ear's too long. Won't sell. It's not damaged. It's handmade. I run my thumb over the embroidered name. Someone put real work into this. And someone threw it away. Damaged pile, Maya. We've got 3 more boxes to process. I should listen. Should follow the rules like I always do. But something stops me. Instead, I slip the rabbit into my bag hanging on the back of my chair. I'll take it home, clean it up properly, maybe donate it to the children's hospital where my little sister Rosie gets her treatments. The kids there would appreciate something made with this much care. The rest of the morning passes in a blur of sorting, pricing, and restocking. By noon, I'm manning the register while Mrs. Chen takes her lunch break. The store is quiet, just a few regulars browsing the book section and a college student examining our furniture collection. The bell above the door chimes. I glance up with my customer service smile already in place, and my breath catches in my throat. The man who walks through the door doesn't belong here. Everything about him screams money and power, from the charcoal suit that probably costs more than I make in 6 months, to the Italian leather shoes that click against our scuffed linoleum. He's tall, maybe 6'3", with dark hair swept back from a face that could have been carved from marble. Sharp jawline, straight nose, and eyes so dark they're almost black. 2 men follow him, both built like linebackers, both scanning the store with the kind of alertness that makes my survival instincts kick in. Security, or bodyguards, or something worse. The main guy's gaze sweeps across the store, methodical and thorough, before landing on me. The intensity in those eyes makes my heart stutter. This isn't a man who browses thrift stores. This is a man who takes what he wants. He walks toward the counter with purpose, his companions flanking him but staying back. Every step is controlled, predatory. I grip the edge of the register, forcing myself to maintain eye contact even though everything in me wants to look away. Good afternoon. His voice is smooth, cultured, with the faintest hint of an accent I can't quite place. I'm looking for someone who can help me with a donation that came through recently. Of course. What kind of item? My voice comes out steadier than I feel. A toy, a stuffed rabbit, handmade, velvet fabric with mismatched button eyes. He pulls out his phone, swipes to a photo, and holds it up. My blood turns cold. The image shows a little girl, maybe 4 years old, with dark curls and a bright smile. She's holding the rabbit, the same rabbit currently sitting in my bag in the back room. The toy belonged to my daughter, he continues, his tone carefully neutral. It was donated by mistake. I'm willing to pay whatever necessary to get it back. I should tell him the truth. Should admit that yes, we received that donation, and yes, I know exactly where it is. But something about this man, about the way his 2 shadows watch me with dead eyes, makes me hesitate. I'd need to check our inventory system. I say, buying time. When was it donated? This past weekend. Saturday or Sunday? His jaw tightens slightly. It's very important that I recover this item. My daughter is distraught without it. There's something in his voice when he mentions his daughter, something raw and painful beneath the controlled exterior. But there's also something dangerous, something that makes every instinct I've honed growing up in foster care scream at me to be careful. Let me look in the back. We process weekend donations on Mondays and Tuesdays. I start to move away from the register. His hand shoots out, not grabbing me, but pressing flat on the counter between us. His fingers are long, elegant, with a scar across the knuckles that suggests violence in his past. "Before you do that," he says quietly, "I should mention that I know it came through this location. I know it was in yesterday's intake, and I know someone processed it this morning." Those dark eyes bore into mine. "So please don't waste my time checking inventory that you've already seen." My mouth goes dry. I process a lot of items. I can't remember every single. The rabbit has my daughter's name embroidered on the left foot, Lucia. The stitching is in gold thread, done by hand. He leans forward slightly. "It's one of a kind, made by my late wife before she died. So you'll understand why I'm very motivated to recover it." The words hit me like a physical blow. His late wife. His daughter without a mother. This toy is the last handmade gift from a woman who's gone. And I took it. I swallow hard. I might have seen it. Might have? His voice drops lower, more dangerous. "Miss? Maya. Maya Santos. Miss Santos." He straightens to his full height, and I have to tilt my head back to maintain eye contact. "I'm going to ask you one more time, very clearly. Do you have my daughter's toy?" The door to the back room opens. Mrs. Chen returns from lunch, stopping short when she sees the man at my counter. Her expression shifts from surprise to something like fear, which is worse than anything else that's happened. "Mr. Marchesi," she says, her voice thin. "I didn't know you were here." He doesn't turn to look at her. His eyes stay locked on mine. "Mrs. Chen, your employee and I are having a discussion about a recent donation." "Of course." "Maya, help Mr. Marchesi with whatever he needs." Mrs. Chen practically runs to the back room, and I hear the door lock. Click behind her. We're alone now except for his 2 guards. The store suddenly feels very small. "You know my name," he observes, "which means Mrs. Chen knows who I am, which means you should understand that lying to me is a very poor decision." "I'm not lying. I said I might have seen it." My hands ball into fists at my sides, and if I did, I might have set it aside because it was too well made to just toss in the damaged pile. Something flickers in his expression. "Set it aside where?" "My bag. In the back room." The admission comes out before I can stop it. "I was going to clean it up, donate it to the children's hospital where my sister gets treatments. I didn't know it belonged to anyone. I thought someone had just thrown it away." He's silent for a long moment, studying me with an intensity that makes me want to squirm. Then, quietly, "Show me." I lead him behind the counter, hyper-aware of his presence behind me, of his guards following. The back room is cramped and cluttered with more donation boxes, a small desk, and our personal storage cubbies. My bag hangs from a hook, worn canvas with patches I've sewn on over the years. With shaking hands, I reach in and pull out the rabbit. Marchesi goes completely still, not just still frozen, like he's forgotten how to breathe. His eyes lock on the toy, and I watch his carefully controlled expression crack. Pain floods his face, raw and devastating, before he shuts it down again. "That's it," he says roughly. He reaches out, and I place the rabbit in his hands. He holds it like it's made of glass, like it might shatter if he grips too hard. His thumb traces over the embroidered name, and his jaw works like he's trying not to break down completely. "My wife made this 2 weeks before the accident," he says, voice barely above a whisper. "Lucia slept with it every night for 3 years, until my housekeeper mistakenly included it in a donation bag last weekend." He looks up at me, and his eyes are suspiciously bright. "My daughter hasn't slept since. She's 4 years old, and she cries for her bunny and for her mama, and I couldn't give her either." My chest aches. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I saw how much love went into making it, and I couldn't let it get thrown away." "You were going to give it to sick children at a hospital." "It's not a question. My sister Rosie is 7. She has leukemia. She's at Northwestern Children's Hospital for treatments twice a week. I don't know why I'm telling him this. The kids there don't have much. A toy like this, something made with real care, would have meant everything to one of them." Marchesi stares at me for a long moment. Then he pulls out his wallet, extracts what looks like several $100 bills. "If you find this story engaging, please take a moment to subscribe and enable notifications. It helps us continue producing in-depth content like this," and sets them on the desk. "For your discretion," he says, "and for your kindness in preserving something precious when you could have simply followed procedure. I don't want your money." The words come out sharper than intended. "I'm just glad your daughter gets her bunny back." "Everyone wants money, Miss Santos." Not everyone. I cross my arms. I grew up in foster care. I know what it's like to lose the few things that matter. I wouldn't take money for returning something that belongs to a grieving child. Something shifts in his expression. He studies me with new intensity, like he's reassessing everything he thought he knew. Then he tucks the money back into his wallet and pulls out a business card instead. Dante Marchesi. He hands it to me. If you or your sister ever need anything, call that number. The name sends ice down my spine. Marchesi. I've heard that name before, whispered in the neighborhood. Mentioned in news reports that never quite say what he does but always use words like alleged and under investigation. I can't finish the sentence. A businessman. His mouth curves in something that might be a smile if it reached his eyes. Among other things. But, primarily, I'm a father who's very grateful to you for taking care of something irreplaceable. He turns to leave, the rabbit tucked carefully under his arm. His guards move to follow. At the door, he pauses and looks back. Your sister. Rosie, you said? At Northwestern Children's? Yes, but I'll make sure the hospital's pediatric oncology wing receives a generous donation. Anonymously, of course. His eyes meet mine. Considerate thanks from a grateful father. Then he's gone, the door chiming as it closes behind him, leaving me standing in the back room with a business card and the feeling that my life just changed in ways I don't yet understand. Mrs. Chen emerges from wherever she was hiding. Maya, tell me you didn't do anything stupid. I gave him the toy. That's all. That's all? She laughs, but there's no humor in it. Do you have any idea who that man is? He said he's a businessman. He's Dante Marchesi. He runs half the businesses in this neighborhood and the other half pay him protection money. The police have been trying to build a case against him for years, but witnesses have a way of disappearing. She grabs my shoulders. Stay away from him, Maya. Men like that are dangerous, no matter how pretty the package. I look down at the business card in my hand. Heavy stock, embossed lettering, a phone number, and nothing else. No company name, no address, just Dante Marchesi, and a way to reach him. I should throw it away. Should pretend this never happened and go back to my normal life of sorting donations and visiting Rosie at the hospital and trying to save enough money to, maybe, possibly, one day go to college. Instead, I slip the card into my pocket. That night, I can't sleep. I keep replaying the scene in the store, the way Dante Marchesi had looked at that rabbit like it was his daughter herself. The pain in his voice when he mentioned his late wife, the raw vulnerability that had cracked through his controlled exterior. And I keep thinking about what Mrs. Chen said. Dangerous. Witnesses disappearing. A man the police can't touch. I should be terrified. Instead, I'm curious. Around 2 a.m, I give up on sleep and pull out my phone. A quick search brings up dozens of articles about Dante Marchesi. Most are vague, full of allegations but no concrete proof. Suspected ties to organized crime. Rumored to control territory from the South Loop to Bridgeport. Known for being ruthless in business dealings. But there are other articles too. One's about his charitable donations to schools and hospitals. His renovation of historic buildings in struggling neighborhoods. His late wife, Isabella Marchesi, who died in a car accident 3 years ago, leaving him to raise their daughter alone. I find a photo from a charity gala, taken a year before his wife died. Dante and Isabella, she in a stunning red gown, he in a tuxedo, both smiling at each other like the rest of the world didn't exist. She was beautiful, with dark curls and kind eyes, and clearly, deeply in love with her husband. Another photo shows Dante holding a baby. The caption reads, Dante Marchesi with daughter Lucia at St. Anthony's Church fundraiser. He looked younger in that photo, less hardened, like he still believed the world was good. What happened to turn him into the man who walked into the thrift store today? Was it just his wife's death? Or something more? My phone buzzes with a text from Rosie's nurse. She's asking if I can come by tomorrow afternoon instead of evening. Rosie's counts are low, and she needs rest after treatment. I text back confirmation, then stare at the business card on my nightstand. Dante said to call if we ever needed anything. He said he'd make a donation to the hospital. Was that just talk, or did he mean it? I pick up the card, running my thumb over the embossed letters. I shouldn't call. Shouldn't have anything more to do with a man like him, but something tells me this isn't over. Returning that rabbit created a connection I don't fully understand yet. Outside my window, Chicago sleeps. Somewhere in this city, a little girl is finally sleeping too, clutching her beloved bunny. And somewhere, a dangerous man is probably awake, dealing with whatever dangerous men deal with at 2 a.m. I set the card back down and close my eyes, but sleep doesn't come. Tomorrow, I'll go to work. I'll sort more donations. I'll visit Rosie at the hospital. I'll live my normal, careful life. But in the back of my mind, I'll be wondering when I'll see Dante Marchesi again, because somehow, I know I will. 3 days pass without any sign of Dante Marchesi. 3 days where I jump every time the bell above the thrift store door chimes. 3 days where I find myself touching the business card in my pocket like a talisman, wondering if I imagined the entire encounter. Then, on Friday afternoon, everything changes. I'm at Northwestern Children's Hospital, sitting beside Rosie's bed, while she sleeps off her latest round of chemotherapy. Her small hand is wrapped in mine, her breathing steady but shallow. At 7 years old, she's been fighting leukemia for 2 years. Some days are good, most days are hard. Maya? A nurse I don't recognize appears in the doorway. There's someone here to see you. He's waiting in the family consultation room. My stomach drops. Who? He didn't say. Just asked for you by name. She glances at Rosie. She'll sleep for at least another hour. You have time. I kiss Rosie's forehead and follow the nurse down the sterile hallway. The family consultation room is where doctors deliver bad news, where social workers discuss treatment options families can't afford. My chest tightens as we approach. The nurse opens the door, and there he is. Dante Marchesi stands by the window overlooking the city, wearing dark slacks and a gray sweater that somehow makes him look more dangerous than the suit had. Less businessman, more predator. It turns when I enter, and those dark eyes lock onto mine with an intensity that steals my breath. Miss Santos. He doesn't smile. Thank you for meeting me. I didn't know I had a choice. I stay near the door, hyper-aware that we're alone. How did you know I was here? How did you know I was here? You told me your sister receives treatment here twice a week. Today is Friday. He says it like it's obvious. Like tracking my schedule is perfectly normal. I wanted to speak with you about something important. If this is about the rabbit again, it's about your sister. He moves away from the window, and I notice a manila folder on the table. Rosie Santos, age 7, diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia 23 months ago. Currently in maintenance phase, but her latest counts show concerning trends. My blood runs cold. How do you know that? That's private medical information. I made inquiries. He says it without apology. After our conversation, I wanted to understand your situation better. You investigated me. Fury burns through the fear. You had no right. I had every right. His voice sharpens. You showed kindness to my daughter when you had no reason to. That made you interesting. And I make it my business to know everything about people who interest me. I should leave. Should report him to hospital security for accessing private records. Instead, I hear myself ask, why? Because I want to help. He picks up the folder, holds it out to me. Dr. Yuki Tanaka at Massachusetts General Hospital. She's the leading pediatric oncologist in the country, specializing in cases like your sister's. I've arranged for her to review Rosie's case and, if appropriate, take her on as a patient. I stare at the folder like it might bite me. I can't afford. You won't need to. All costs will be covered, including travel to Boston if treatment requires relocation. He sets the folder on the table between us. Transportation, housing, everything. Rosie will receive the best possible care. Why would you do this? My voice cracks. You don't know us. You don't owe us anything. You preserved something precious when you could have discarded it. You were going to give it to children who needed comfort. His jaw tightens. My wife believed in helping those who couldn't help themselves. This is what she would have wanted. I look at the folder, at this impossible gift, and feel tears burn behind my eyes. Dr. Tanaka. I've read about her, seen her mentioned in medical journals at the hospital library. She's a miracle worker, and her waiting list is years long. There has to be a catch. No catch. He moves closer, not touching me, but close enough that I can smell his cologne. Expensive and understated. Consider it a gift from one person who understands loss to another. I don't take charity. It's not charity. It's gratitude. His eyes soften slightly. My daughter slept through the night for the first time in a week. That's because of you. Let me do this. Every practical bone in my body screams to take the offer. Rosie needs the best care possible, and I can't provide it on my thrift store salary. But accepting help from a man like Dante Marchesi feels like making a deal with the devil. I need to think about it. Of course. He pulls out another business card, writes something on the back, and hands it to me. That's my private number. Call any time, day or night. Dr. Tanaka is expecting to hear from someone on behalf of Rosie Santos within the next week. He starts toward the door, then pauses. Your sister is lucky to have you, Miss Santos. Not everyone would sacrifice as much as you have. How do you know what I've sacrificed? Because I had you investigated. Remember? Something that might be respect flickers in his eyes. You dropped out of community college to care for her full-time. You work at a thrift store because the hours are flexible enough to accommodate hospital visits. You live in a studio apartment in Pilsen that costs half your monthly income, and you do it all without complaint. The fact that he knows these intimate details about my life should terrify me. Instead, I feel seen in a way I haven't since my foster mother died 3 years ago. I do what I have to do. She's my sister. Family is everything. He says it with such conviction that I believe he means it. Remember that when you make your decision. Then he's gone, leaving me alone with the folder and the weight of an impossible choice. I return to Rosie's room in a daze. She's still sleeping, her thin chest rising and falling beneath the hospital blanket. I sit beside her bed and open the folder with shaking hands. Inside is Dr. Tanaka's resume, patient testimonials, research papers on cutting-edge treatments. There's also a letter of introduction already drafted, waiting only for my signature, and a check, made out to me personally, for $50,000. The note attached reads, for immediate expenses, no strings. Attached. DM. $50,000. More money than I've seen in my entire life. Enough to pay off Rosie's current medical bills, to move us to a better apartment, to maybe even go back to school. No strings attached. I don't believe that for a second. I don't call Dante for 2 days. 2 days where I research Dr. Tanaka obsessively, where I talk to Rosie's current oncologist about the potential benefits of a second opinion, where I lie awake at night staring at that check and wondering what it will cost me to cash it. Sunday evening, Rosie asks me why I'm so quiet. Just tired, pequeña. I brush her hair back from her forehead. We're in our tiny apartment, me on the couch, her curled up beside me watching a cartoon. You're always tired. She tilts her head up to look at me. Is it because of me? Because I'm sick? No, baby. Never because of you. I pull her closer. You're the reason I keep going. I heard the nurses talking. Her voice is small. They said my numbers aren't good, that I might need different medicine. My chest tightens. The doctors are figuring out the best plan. That's all. I don't want to die, Maya. She says it so matter-of-factly, like she's commenting on the weather. I want to go to 2nd grade. I want to learn to ride a bike. I want to see you get married someday. The tears I've been holding back for 2 days finally break free. You're going to do all those things. I promise. How do you know? Because a dangerous man offered to help, and I'm going to accept because I have no other choice. Because I'll do whatever it takes to make sure you do. That night, after Rosie falls asleep, I pull out Dante's card and call the private number. He answers on the 2nd ring. Miss Santos. How did you know it was me? I've been waiting for your call. There's satisfaction in his voice. Have you made a decision? I need to understand something first. I pace our small living room, phone pressed to my ear. What do you really want from this? Men like you don't just hand out $50,000 without expecting something in return. Men like me. He sounds amused. What kind of man do you think I am? The kind who makes people disappear. The kind the police can't touch. The kind who investigates strangers and knows things he shouldn't. All true. No denial. Which is somehow worse. But I'm also a father who lost his wife and knows what it's like to feel helpless watching someone you love suffer. I'm offering you what I wish someone had offered me 3 years ago. A chance. And when you decide to collect on this debt, there is no debt, Maya. His use of my first name sends electricity down my spine. But if it makes you feel better, consider it a favor. One you may repay someday if the opportunity arises and you choose to. No obligation. No pressure. That's not how favors work in your world. Perhaps not. A pause. But it's how this one works. I'm not my father, Miss Santos. I don't collect debts from innocent people trying to save their family. I want to believe him. God, I want to believe him so badly. Okay. The word comes out before I can second-guess myself. I'll accept. For Rosie. Good. I hear the smile in his voice. I'll have my assistant contact you tomorrow with Dr. Tanaka's scheduling information. In the meantime, the check is yours to use however you need. Thank you. My voice cracks on the words. I don't know how to repay. You already did. You cared for something precious when you didn't have to. His tone softens. Get some sleep, Maya. Things are about to get better for you and your sister. He hangs up before I can respond. I stand in the darkness of our apartment, phone clutched in my hand, and wonder what I've just agreed to. Dr. Tanaka's office calls Monday morning. They've reviewed Rosie's case and want to see her immediately. Wednesday, if we can make it to Boston. All travel arrangements will be handled. I'm numb as I listen to the cheerful assistant explain the process. A car will pick us up Tuesday evening, drive us to a hotel near the hospital. Wednesday morning, consultation. They'll know more after seeing Rosie in person. Mrs. Chen isn't happy when I request the time off. This is very short notice, Maya. It's for Rosie, a specialist in Boston. I don't mention who arranged it. It could change everything for her treatment. Her expression softens. She has grandchildren. She understands. Of course. Take the week. We'll manage. Tuesday evening, a black town car arrives at our apartment building exactly at 6. The driver is professional and polite, loading our small suitcase into the trunk while Rosie bounces with excitement. She's never been out of Chicago. For her, this is an adventure. For me, it's stepping into a world I don't understand. The hotel is downtown Boston, the kind of place with marble lobbies and staff who anticipate your needs before you voice them. Our suite has 2 bedrooms, a living area, and a view of the harbor that makes Rosie gasp. Is this real? She runs to the window, pressing her hands against the glass. Maya, we can see boats. It's real, pequeña. I try to smile, but the opulence makes me uncomfortable. This must cost more per night than I make in a month. There's a basket of fruit and snacks on the counter, along with a note in elegant handwriting. For Rosie, enjoy the treats. You're very brave. DM. Rosie finds it while I'm unpacking. Who's DM? A friend. The lie tastes bitter. Someone who wanted to help. Are they nice? I think about Dante's controlled exterior, his dangerous reputation, the way his eyes had filled with pain when he held his daughter's toy. Yeah, pequeña. I think he is. That night my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. I hope the accommodations are acceptable. If you need anything, ask the concierge. They have the instructions to provide whatever you require. Dante. I stare at the message for a long moment before responding. This is too much. His reply comes immediately. Nothing is too much for a child's health. Sleep well, Maya. I should feel trapped. Should feel like I've sold my soul. Instead, lying in the impossibly comfortable hotel bed listening to Rosie's steady breathing in the next room, I feel something I haven't felt in 2 years. Hope. Dr. Tanaka is a small woman in her 50s with kind eyes and an impressive resume framed on her office wall. She spends 3 hours with Rosie Wednesday morning, running tests, asking questions, examining every detail of her medical history. I sit in the corner, watching my sister charm the doctor with her bright personality despite her exhaustion. Rosie has always been like this, finding joy even in the hardest moments. Miss Santos? Dr. Tanaka gestures for me to join her in the hallway while Rosie plays with puzzles in the exam room. I've reviewed everything. My heart pounds. And? Rosie's current treatment protocol is outdated. Not wrong, exactly. But there are newer therapies with significantly better outcomes for her type of leukemia. She pulls up charts on her tablet. I want to start her on a modified regimen immediately. It will require her to stay in Boston for the initial phase, approximately 6 weeks, with follow-up treatments back in Chicago. 6 weeks. The logistics crash over me. My job. Our apartment. How will I? Mr. Marchesi has arranged extended accommodations at the hotel and communicated with your employer regarding a leave of absence. Doctor. Tanaka says it so casually, like it's normal for wealthy strangers to upend people's lives. All you need to focus on is Rosie's recovery. He can't just, I stop myself. Apparently he can. How does he even have that kind of pull with my employer? Dr. Tanaka's expression suggests she knows exactly who and what Dante Marchesi is. Mr. Marchesi is a generous benefactor of this hospital. When he asks for something, we do our best to accommodate. But Maya, she touches my arm gently. None of that matters if you don't consent to the treatment. This is your decision as Rosie's guardian. I look through the window at my sister, who's laughing at something a nurse said. She deserves every chance at a normal life. Every possible treatment. Do it. Start the new protocol. Dr. Tanaka smiles. Good. We'll admit her tomorrow morning. I'll have my team coordinate everything. That night, back at the hotel, I finally let myself feel the weight of what's happening. Rosie's asleep early, exhausted from the day's appointments. I stand at the window watching boats move across the harbor, my phone heavy in my hand. I should call Dante. Should thank him for everything he's done. But talking to him feels dangerous in a way I can't articulate. Instead, I text, Dr. Tanaka is starting new treatment. Thank you for all of this. His response is immediate. How is Rosie handling everything? She thinks it's an adventure. She doesn't understand how serious this is. Good. Let her stay innocent as long as possible. I hesitate, then type, Why are you really doing this? The response takes longer this time. Because 3 years ago, I would have given anything for someone to offer me hope when my wife was dying. I couldn't save Isabella, but maybe I can help save your sister. My throat tightens. I'm sorry about your wife. So am I. But Lucia still needs me. That's what keeps me moving forward. Before I can overthink it, I call instead of texting. He answers immediately. Maya, tell me about her. About Lucia. I don't know why I'm asking. What's she like? He's quiet for a moment. Then, she's 4 and fearless. She demands 3 bedtime stories and negotiates for a 4th. She insists on wearing her red rain boots everywhere, even when it's sunny. She asks 1,000 questions a day and remembers every answer. I hear the love in his voice, the fierce protectiveness. She sounds wonderful. She is. A pause. Isabella used to say Lucia got my stubbornness and her kindness. I'm not sure that's a good combination. It sounds perfect. How is this the first real conversation we're having? There's something almost vulnerable in the question. I've investigated your entire life, paid for your sister's treatment, and we've barely spoken more than a few sentences. You're a busy man, I assume. Running half of Chicago takes time. He laughs, actually laughs, and the sound does something dangerous to my chest. Is that what they say about me? Among other things. Most of them less flattering. All probably true. He doesn't sound bothered. But you're still talking to me, which suggests you're either very brave or very foolish. Maybe both. Probably both. I hear affection in his tone. Maya, I know this situation is strange. Accepting help from someone like me. But I meant what I said. No strings. No expectations. Just one person helping another. People don't do that in your world. No. He agrees quietly. They don't. Which is why I'm choosing to be different. We talk for another hour. About Rosie, about Lucia, about nothing important and everything important. He tells me about losing Isabella in a car accident caused by a drunk driver. How he'd held her hand while she died, unable to do anything except promise to take care of their daughter. I tell him about growing up in foster care, about the day my foster mother officially adopted me and Rosie, about losing her to a heart attack 3 years ago and suddenly being responsible for a 5-year-old with cancer. You were 22. He says it like he's done the math. Barely more than a child yourself. I was old enough, and she's my sister. That's all that matters. Family is everything, he repeats. The same words from the hospital. You understand that. Most people don't. When we finally hang up, it's past midnight. I lie in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering how I went from returning a stuffed rabbit to having hour-long conversations with a mob boss who somehow makes me feel less alone than I have in years. This is dangerous. He's dangerous. But for the first time since Rosie's diagnosis, I feel like someone sees me. Not as a struggling guardian or a charity case or a problem to be solved. Just as Maya, the next 6 weeks blur together. Rosie's treatment is intense but bearable. Dr. Tanaka and her team are incredible, explaining everything, making sure Rosie understands what's happening in age-appropriate terms. I spend my days at the hospital, my evenings at the hotel, and my nights talking to Dante. It becomes a routine. Around 10, after Rosie's asleep, my phone rings. Sometimes we talk about serious things, his work, my fears about Rosie's treatment, the weight of responsibility. Other times it's lighter, swapping stories about our childhoods, debating whether deep dish or New York-style pizza is superior, discussing books and movies. He never crosses a line, never makes me uncomfortable, but there's something building between us, something neither of us acknowledges but both of us feel. You should be careful, doctor. Tanaka tells me one afternoon during Rosie's 4th week of treatment. Mr. Marchesi is a complicated man. I know what he is. Do you? She gives me a pointed look. Because from where I'm standing, you're starting to care about him. And caring about men in his position comes with consequences. We're just friends. Friends don't look at each other the way you two do. You've never seen us together. I saw how you looked when you mentioned him yesterday, and I've known Dante Marchesi for 5 years. I've never seen him invest this much personal attention in anyone who wasn't family. She touches my arm. I'm not judging, but I am warning you. His world is dangerous, Maya. For you and for Rosie. I know she's right. I know I should establish boundaries, should stop the nightly phone calls and easy conversations. But I don't, because Dante makes me feel safe in a way no one has since my foster mother died. Because when Rosie has a bad day and I'm falling apart, he's the one I call. Because somewhere along the way, he stopped being the dangerous stranger who walked into the thrift store and became something more. Week 5. Dante comes to Boston. Business, he says when he texts that he'll be in the city for a few days. But I'd like to see you. If that's acceptable. We meet at a coffee shop near the hospital. I'm nervous, which is stupid. We've talked for hours every night for a month. But seeing him in person again is different. He's waiting at a corner table, wearing dark jeans and a black sweater that makes his eyes look even darker. He stands when I approach, and I'm struck again by how tall he is, how he commands space without trying. Maya. He doesn't try to touch me, just gestures to the seat across from him. How's Rosie? Good. Really good, actually. Doctor, Tanaka says the new protocol is working better than expected. I sit, accepting the coffee he's already ordered for me. She might be able to go home to Chicago in 2 weeks instead of 3. That's excellent news. Relief floods his face. You must be thrilled. I am, and terrified. What if the new treatment doesn't keep working once we're back in Chicago? What if, Maya? He reaches across the table, his hand covering mine. The contact sends electricity up my arm. You're borrowing trouble. Right now, today, Rosie is responding well. Focus on that. His hand is warm, calloused in places that suggest violence in his past. I should pull away. Instead, I turn my palm up, letting our fingers intertwine. Thank you. My voice comes out rough. For all of this. For giving us hope. You're welcome. His thumb traces circles on my palm, the same gesture I've noticed he does when he's thinking. But Maya, I need to be honest with you about something. My stomach drops. What? This started as me wanting to help because you showed kindness to Lucia. That's still true. He meets my eyes. But it's become more than that. These conversations we've been having, they're the best part of my day. You're the best part of my day. Dante, let me finish. His grip on my hand tightens slightly. I'm not asking for anything. I know my reputation. What I am. I'm not delusional enough to think someone like you should want someone like me. But I needed you to know that this matters. You matter. I should tell him this is a bad idea. Should remind him that I have Rosie to think about. That getting involved with a mob boss is insanity. Should pull my hand away and thank him politely for everything he's done and establish clear boundaries. Instead, I hear myself say, you matter to me too. Something blazes in his eyes. Maya, I know what you are. I know it's complicated and probably stupid and definitely dangerous. I lean forward. But these phone calls, these conversations, they're keeping me sane. You're keeping me sane. That's not healthy. You shouldn't need me. I don't need you. I choose you. There's a difference. I squeeze his hand. I don't know what this is between us, and I'm not asking you to define it. But I'm not walking away from it either. He studies me for a long moment, conflict clear on his face. Then, quietly, my world isn't safe, Maya. People in my life become targets, then protect us, like you've been doing. It's not that simple. Actually, it is. I meet his eyes. You're either in my life or you're not. But you don't get to make that decision for me based on what might happen. I'm an adult. I get to choose my own risks. A smile tugs at his lips. You're incredibly stubborn. I've been told that before. I smile back. Usually by 7-year-olds who don't want to take their medicine. He laughs. And just like on the phone that first night, the sound does something dangerous to my heart. We spend the next 3 hours talking, not about serious things, just being together. He tells me about Lucia's latest adventure involving red boots and a very patient nanny. I tell him about Rosie's crush on one of the young residents at the hospital. It feels normal, easy. Right in a way nothing has felt right in years. When we finally leave the coffee shop, he walks me back to the hospital. At the entrance, he stops. I'm going back to Chicago tomorrow, but I'll call tonight? You better. I surprise myself by standing on tiptoe and kissing his cheek. Thank you for coming to see me. His hand comes up, cupping my face. Thank you for letting me. Then he's gone, and I'm standing outside the hospital with my heart racing and the absolute certainty that I just crossed a line I can't uncross. Doctor. Tanaka finds me in Rosie's room 10 minutes later, still dazed. So, she says, a knowing look on her face. You saw him. Is it that obvious? Only to anyone with eyes. She sits beside me. Maya, I meant what I said before. Be careful. But also, she smiles. I've never seen Dante Marchesi look at anyone the way he looks at you. If you can navigate the complications, maybe there's something real there. And if I can't navigate them, then at least you'll have given your sister the best possible chance at life. That has to count for something. It counts for everything. That night, when Dante calls, something has shifted. We're not just friends anymore. We're not just a crime boss and the woman he's helping. We're something more. Something neither of us can name yet, but both of us feel. When Rosie's cleared to go back to Chicago, he says near the end of our call, I want you to stay at my house. Dante, we can't. Just temporarily. Until you're both settled and I can arrange proper security for your apartment. His tone brooks no argument. People know I've been helping you now. That makes you visible. I won't risk your safety. People know? My stomach clenches. What people? People in my world. It's fine, he adds quickly. But it means taking basic precautions, letting me protect you. This is what Dr. Tanaka warned about. The complications. The danger. Okay, I hear myself say. For Rosie's safety. Temporarily. For Rosie's safety, he agrees. But we both know that's not the only reason. 2 weeks later, when Rosie is officially cleared to return to Chicago, a car picks us up from the hotel. But instead of taking us to our tiny apartment in Pilsen, it drives us to Lincoln Park, to a brownstone that screams old money and careful restoration, to Dante's home. It's temporary, I remind Rosie as we pull up. Just until we get settled. But looking at the house, at the life Dante lives, I have a feeling temporary might become something much more complicated. And standing in the doorway, waiting for us with a small coverlin, dark-haired girl clutching his hand, is Dante Marchesi, ready to welcome us into his world. For better or worse, the little girl staring at me from behind Dante's leg has his eyes, dark and intense, but filled with a curiosity that's purely childlike. She wears red rain boots, jeans, and a pink shirt with a unicorn on it. Her bunny is tucked under one arm. Lucia, Dante says gently, crouching down to her level. This is Maya and her sister Rosie. They're going to stay with us for a little while. Lucia studies us with the serious consideration only a 4-year-old can manage. Then she looks at Rosie and her expression brightens. Are you sick? You don't have hair like other kids? Lucia, Dante starts, but I touch his arm. It's okay. I crouch down too, bringing myself to the girl's eye level. Rosie has been sick, yes. That's why her hair fell out. But she's getting better. Oh. Lucia processes this, then holds out her bunny. When I'm sad, Bunny makes me feel better. You can hold him if you want. Rosie's eyes go wide. She looks at me for permission, and I nod. She takes the bunny carefully, reverently, like she understands this is something precious. Thank you, Rosie whispers. He's very soft. My mama made him. Lucia says it proudly, without the sadness I'd expect. She's in heaven now, but Daddy says she can still see me. My mama's in heaven too, Rosie offers. Our foster mama. She was really nice. And just like that, the two of them are bonded. Lucia grabs Rosie's hand and starts pulling her toward the house, chattering about her room and her toys, and whether Rosie likes princesses or dinosaurs better. Dante and I are left standing on the doorstep, watching our sisters disappear inside. That went better than expected, he says quietly. She's wonderful. I can't take my eyes off the two girls. You've raised her well. Alone. I had help. My mother, before she passed last year. My sister Valentina occasionally, though she's better at spoiling than disciplining. He picks up our suitcase like it weighs nothing. But mostly, yes, it's been just us. Inside, the house is even more beautiful than the exterior suggested. Hardwood floors that gleam, artwork on the walls that looks original, furniture that's elegant but lived in. This is a home, not just a showcase. Your room is upstairs. Dante leads me through the foyer. Rosie's is connected through a bathroom, so you'll have privacy, but she'll be close. Lucia's room is down the hall, and mine is on the 3rd floor. The separation doesn't escape my notice. He's putting physical distance between us, maintaining propriety even while inviting us into his home. My room is gorgeous. King bed with soft gray bedding, a reading chair by the window, artwork that somehow manages to be both sophisticated and warm. Through one door is a bathroom with a clawfoot tub that makes me want to weep. Through another, Rosie's room smaller but decorated in soft purples and blues, with a bookshelf already stocked with age-appropriate books. Dante, this is too much. It's a guest room. He sets the suitcase down. You're my guest. You know what I mean. I gesture at everything. The house, the rooms, Boston, all of it. I can never repay. Stop. He crosses to me, his hands settling on my shoulders. I told you. No debt. No repayment. Just let me do this. Why? I search his face. The real reason. Not the story about gratitude or your wife or helping Rosie. Why are you really doing this? He's quiet for a long moment, his dark eyes studying mine like he's trying to decide how much truth to tell. Finally, because when I saw you in that thrift store, holding something precious like it mattered, I felt something I haven't felt since Isabella died. Interest. Curiosity. Like maybe the world wasn't just business and violence and protecting Lucia from my reality. His hands slide from my shoulders to cup my face. And then I investigated you and learned. About Rosie. About everything you've sacrificed. And that interest became respect. And then we started talking every night. And respect became something more. Dante. I'm falling for you, Maya. The confession is quiet. Almost reluctant. I've been falling for you since that first phone call when you challenged me instead of being afraid. And I brought you here, into my home, because I'm selfish enough to want you close even though I know I shouldn't. My heart hammers against my ribs. This is insane. Completely. He doesn't move away. Tell me to take you back to your apartment. Tell me this is too much, too fast, too complicated. I'll do it. I'll make sure Rosie gets continued care through Dr. Tanaka. Make sure you're both safe. And I'll step back. I should say yes. Should protect myself and Rosie from the inevitable complications of getting involved with a man like Dante Marchesi. Should choose the safe, sensible path. No. The word comes out steady, certain. I don't. I want you to step back. Something blazes in his eyes. Maya, I'm falling for you too. I admit what I've been denying for weeks. And it terrifies me. And it's probably the worst decision I've ever made. But I can't seem to stop. He kisses me then. Not gentle or questioning like I might have expected for a first kiss. This is consuming, desperate 6 weeks of phone calls and careful distance breaking all at once. His hands slide into my hair, angling my head to deepen the kiss, and I grab fistfuls of his shirt to keep myself steady. When we finally break apart, both breathing hard, he rests his forehead against mine. We should talk about this, he says roughly. Set boundaries. Figure out what this means. Later. I kiss him again, softer this time. Right now, I just want to feel this. We stay like that for several minutes, trading kisses, learning the taste and feel of each other. It's new and terrifying and feels more right than anything I've experienced in years. Then we hear giggling from the hallway. Daddy's kissing Maya. Lucia's voice carries clearly. Rosie, come see. We spring apart like guilty teenagers. Dante runs a hand through his hair, looking more flustered than I've ever seen him. So much for taking things slow, I mutter. He laughs, actually laughs, and pulls me against him for one more quick kiss. Welcome to my life, where privacy doesn't exist and 4-year-olds have perfect timing. When we emerge from the bedroom, 2 small girls are standing in the hallway trying very hard to look innocent. Were you spying? Dante asks, mock stern. No, Lucia says, in the way only a 4-year-old can lie while being completely obvious. We were just walking by and accidentally saw. Accidentally, Rosie echoes, grinning. I should be embarrassed. Should worry about what this means for the girls. Instead, looking at all of them, Dante, Lucia, Rosie, I feel something I haven't felt since before my foster mother died. Like I'm home. The first week living in Dante's house passes in a blur of domesticity I never expected. Mornings start with Lucia jumping on my bed at an ungodly hour, demanding breakfast and attention. Dante usually appears around 7, already dressed for work, to help wrangle the girls while I make coffee. We fall into routines without discussing them. He makes breakfast surprisingly well while I pack Rosie's medications. We eat together at the kitchen island, the girls chattering about nothing and everything. Then Dante disappears into his home office for work, while I take Rosie to her follow-up appointments at Northwestern. Evenings are family dinners, bath time battles, and books before bed. Sometimes Dante joins us for bedtime stories. Sometimes he's in his office on calls that I don't ask about, speaking Italian in tones that suggest business I don't want to know details of. And late at night, after the girls are asleep, we sit on the back patio, with wine and talk. About everything. About nothing. About the impossibility of what we're doing and why we're doing it anyway. Valentina wants to meet you, he mentions one evening, 5 days after we moved in. Your sister? She's heard I have guests. She's curious. He says it like it's normal, like introducing me to his family is the next logical step. Sunday dinner. Here. She'll bring her husband Marco and their son. Dante, we've been whatever this is for less than 2 weeks. Meeting your family seems premature? He takes my hand. Maya, you live in my house. You eat meals with my daughter. Lucia asked me yesterday if you're going to be her new mama. This is already past premature. My chest tightens. What did you tell her? That you're someone very special to me, and that she should ask you herself if she wants to know more. He smiles slightly. She said she'd think about it and get back to me with questions. She's 4. She's my daughter. Advanced. Questioning comes with the territory. He grows more serious. But Maya, I need you to understand what meeting Valentina means. She knows what I do. She's part of the family business in an advisory capacity. Meeting her is meeting someone who understands my world completely. And if she doesn't approve of me, then I'll be disappointed in my sister's judgment. He says it with such certainty that I almost believe him. But she will approve. Because you make me happy. And Valentina wants me happy almost as much as she wants me safe. Sunday dinner comes too quickly. I spend hours stressing over what to wear, finally settling on dark jeans and a soft blue sweater that Dante says brings out my eyes. Rosie is excited about meeting new people. I'm quietly terrified. Valentina Marchesi De Luca arrives at 5 sharp, her husband and 10-year-old son in tow. She's striking dark hair, sharp features, wearing a designer dress and heels that could double as weapons. She takes one look at me and smiles. So you're the reason my brother has been unbearable for the past 6 weeks. She pulls me into an unexpected hug. I'm Valentina. Ignore Dante if he's told you I'm difficult. He's lying. I told her you were protective, Dante says dryly, accepting a hug from his nephew. Same thing. Valentina releases me and crouches down to Rosie's level. And you must be Rosie. Dante says you're very brave. Rosie ducks behind me shyly. I just take my medicine. That's the definition of brave, sweetheart. Valentina straightens, her sharp eyes assessing me. Maya, can we talk? Just us? My stomach drops, but I nod. She links her arm through mine and guides me to Dante's study while the men handle the children. Once the door closes, her friendly demeanor shifts slightly. Not hostile, exactly, but more serious. I'm going to be direct because my brother deserves honesty, and so do you. She leans against Dante's desk. I've had you investigated. Thoroughly. I know about your background, your foster care history, your sister's illness, everything. Of course you have. I'm not even surprised anymore. I needed to know if you were using Dante for his money or connections. If you were a threat to him or Lucia. She says it without apology. What I found was a woman who's been dealt a difficult hand and played it with grace. Someone who puts her sister first always. Someone who refused Dante's money initially, and only accepted help when it became about saving a child's life. Why are you telling me this? Because I approve. She smiles genuinely. My brother has been alone for 3 years, grieving, isolated, pouring everything into being a father and running the family business. He needed someone to remind him he's allowed to be happy. You've done that. Relief floods through me. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Her expression turns serious. Maya, you need to understand what being with Dante means. He's not just a successful businessman. He's the head, king of the Marchesi family. That comes with danger, with enemies, with choices most people never have to face. I know what he is. Do you? Because knowing in abstract and living it daily are very different. She moves closer. There will be nights he doesn't come home on time and you can't ask why. There will be phone calls that send him out the door immediately. There will be people who want to hurt him and will see you and Rosie as leverage. He's already explained. Has he explained what happened to Isabella? Valentina cuts me off. The drunk driver who hit her car? He was paid to do it. Paid by the Bratva to send Dante a message about territorial disputes. They murdered his wife to make a point. The room tilts. No, he said it was an accident. It was made to look like an accident. Dante found out the truth 6 months later. Her eyes hold mine. He handled it. Quietly. Permanently. That's who my brother is, Maya. He's a man who will burn down the world to protect what's his. Are you prepared to be his? Because once you commit to this, there's no casual exit. I should be running. Should grab Rosie and get as far from this world as possible. Instead, I think about Dante with Lucia. Patient and loving. Dante on the phone with me every night for 6 weeks. Dante kissing me like I'm precious. Dante offering hope when I had none. I'm prepared. My voice is steady. But I need you to understand something too. I'm not Isabella. I didn't grow up in this world. I don't have family connections or understanding of how things work. I'm just someone trying to save her sister and maybe, possibly, falling in love with your brother. Maybe possibly? Valentina's lips quirk. Definitely. Completely. Terrifyingly. I meet her eyes. So if you're asking if I can handle the complications, I don't know, but I'm willing to try. Because he's worth it. Valentina studies me for a long moment. Then she nods. Good answer. Now come on. Dinner's probably ready. And if we leave the men alone with the children too long, someone's going to end up eating dessert first. Dinner is surprisingly normal. Marco is warm and funny. Their son Antonio immediately befriends Lucia and Rosie, and Valentina spends the meal telling embarrassing stories about Dante's childhood that make him groan but also laugh. Watching him with his family, relaxed and happy, I see the man underneath the reputation. The brother who teases his sister, the uncle who indulges his nephew, the father who ensures Lucia eats vegetables before allowing dessert. After the kids are in the living room watching a movie, the adults sit on the patio with wine. Marco and Dante discuss business vague enough that I don't catch specifics, but clearly something important. Valentina turns to me. How's Rosie responding to the new treatment protocol? Really, well. Dr. Tanaka says her counts are the best they've been since diagnosis. I can't keep the hope from my voice. She might actually beat this. She will. Valentina says it with certainty. Dante doesn't do anything halfway. If he's committed to her recovery, it'll happen. That's a lot of faith in medical science. That's a lot of faith in my brother. She glances at Dante, who's deep in conversation with Marco. He's a good man, Maya. Complicated, yes. Dangerous, absolutely. But good where it counts. He'll protect you and Rosie with everything he has. I know. Do you love him? The question catches me off guard. We've known each other for 6 weeks. That's not an answer. I look at Dante, at the way the patio lights cast shadows across his face, at the intensity with which he listens to his brother-in-law, at the casual strength in his posture. Yes, I think I do. Good. Valentina squeezes my hand. Because he definitely loves you. I can see it in how he looks at you. Like you're the first good thing to happen to him in 3 years. After Valentina's family leaves, after the girls are in bed, Dante finds me in the kitchen cleaning up the last of the dinner dishes. Valentina likes you. He picks up a towel to dry. She told me you'd be good for me. She also told me about Isabella. About it not being an accident. His hand's still on the plate he's drying. I was going to tell you, eventually. When? When I was sure you wouldn't run. He sets the plate down, turns to face me. Maya, the people responsible for Isabella's death no longer exist. I made sure of it. But that doesn't change the fact that being with me put her in danger, and now it's putting you and Rosie in danger. That's not the same thing, isn't it? No. I grab his hands, forcing him to look at me. Isabella was your wife. She knew what your life was. I'm choosing this with full knowledge of the risks. That's different. Is it? His voice roughens. Because if something happened to you or Rosie because of me, I wouldn't survive it. I barely survived losing Isabella. Losing you would destroy me. Then don't lose me. I pull him closer. Protect us. Like you've been doing, like I know you'll keep doing. Maya, I love you. The words come out easier than I expected. I know it's fast. I know it's crazy. But I love you, Dante Marchesi. All of you. The businessman and the father and the crime boss. All of it. He kisses me like I'm oxygen and he's drowning. When we finally break apart, he rests his forehead against mine. I love you too. So much it terrifies me. His hands cradle my face. Stay with me. Not as a guest, not temporarily. Stay. You're asking me to move in? We've been dating for less than 2 weeks. I'm asking you to build a life with me. Here, with Lucia and Rosie, as a family. He pulls back enough to meet my eyes. I know it's fast. I know it's insane. But I also know I don't want to waste time pretending this isn't exactly what we both want. He's right. I could pretend we need to take things slow, establish boundaries, date properly. But the truth is, I'm already in. Already. Imagining mornings with coffee and chaos. Already thinking about Lucia and Rosie growing up as sisters. Already planning a future I never thought I'd have. Yes. I kiss him softly. Yes, I'll stay. 2 weeks later, I'm unpacking the last boxes from our old apartment, making Dante's house truly ours. Rosie's settled into her new school, making friends and thriving. Lucia treats her like the sister she never had. And Dante comes home every evening with the expression of a man who can't believe his luck. I'm in the kitchen making dinner when his phone rings. He glances at the screen, and his expression shifts to something cold and professional. I need to take this. He steps into his office, closing the door. I try not to listen, try to focus on chopping vegetables, but his voice carries sharp and commanding in Italian. I catch fragments, unacceptable, territory, message. When he emerges 20 minutes later, the warmth is gone from his eyes. I have to go out tonight. Is everything okay? Just business. He pulls me close, kissing my forehead. I'll be back before midnight. Don't wait up. Dante, it's fine, amore. Just a meeting. But the tension in his shoulders suggests otherwise. He leaves at 8, taking 2 of his men with him. The house feels empty without him, despite having both girls demanding attention. At 10, Rosie and Lucia are finally asleep. I try to read, to watch TV, to do anything except worry. At 11, I give up and call Valentina. He's fine, she says before I can ask. There was a situation with the Colombo family. Territory dispute. Dante's handling it. Define handling. Maya. No, I want to know. Is he in danger? She's quiet for a moment. There's always danger. But he has good men with him. He knows what he's doing. That's not reassuring. It's the truth. Her voice softens. Welcome to loving a man in this life, Maya. The worry never goes away. You just learn to live with it. Dante doesn't come home at midnight, or 1, or 2. At 3 in the morning, I hear the front door open. I'm off the couch immediately, rushing to the foyer. He's standing there, jacket gone, shirt torn and blood-stained, a cut above his left eye that's still bleeding sluggishly. But he's alive. He's whole. Cristo, I'm sorry. He sees my expression. I didn't mean to worry you. I launch myself at him, wrapping my arms around his neck, not caring about the blood. You said midnight. I know. I'm sorry. His arms come around me, holding tight. It got complicated. Are you hurt? Not badly. The blood isn't mine. He says it like it should be comforting. Maya, I need to shower. Then we'll talk. 20 minutes later, he emerges from our bathroom clean, the cut above his eye bandaged, wearing sweatpants and nothing else. I'm sitting on the bed, hands shaking with delayed fear. What happened? He sits beside me, pulling me against his chest. The Colombo family has been encroaching on territory we've controlled for 20 years. Tonight was supposed to be a negotiation. It turned into something else. Someone tried to hurt you. Someone tried. They failed. His voice is flat, matter of fact. I handled it. How? You don't want to know. Yes, I do. I pull back to look at him. If I'm going to live this life with you, I need to know what that means. He studies my face, debating. Then, quietly, there were 6 of them. They thought numbers would intimidate me. They were wrong. 2 are in the hospital. 3 left under their own power with clear understanding of our boundaries. The 6th. He doesn't finish. Doesn't need to. You killed him. I defended myself and my men. His jaw tightens. If I hadn't, we'd be the ones in body bags. I should be horrified. Should be reconsidering everything. Instead, I think about Lucia and Rosie sleeping peacefully down the hall. About the life we're building. About how Dante came home to me, instead of staying in that world. Okay. Okay? He sounds surprised. I don't like it. I probably never will. I cup his face, careful of the bandaged cut, but I understand it, and I trust that you do what's necessary to protect what's yours. Maya. Are we safe? Lucia and Rosie and me? Always. He says it with absolute conviction. I'd burn down Chicago before I let anyone hurt you. Then that's enough. We lie down together, my head on his chest, his arms around me. His heart beats steadily under my ear, proof that he came home, that we survived another night in his world. This is my life, he says quietly. Meetings that turn violent, enemies who don't respect boundaries, danger that could touch you no matter how hard I try to prevent it. If you can't live with that, I can live with it. I tilt my head to kiss his jaw. I can live with anything as long as you keep coming home. I'll always come home to you. Always. And lying there in the darkness, I believe him. 3 months pass. 3 months of building a life I never imagined. Rosie's health continues to improve, her hair growing back in soft curls. She and Lucia are inseparable, more sisters than friends. I've converted one of Dante's spare rooms into a photography studio, taking freelance work that lets me stay home with the girls. And Dante. Dante proposes on a Tuesday morning over breakfast. Not romantic or planned. Just him, reaching across the kitchen island where Lucia and Rosie are arguing about whose turn it is to feed the goldfish, taking my hand, and saying, "Marry me." I blink. What? Marry me, Maya. He's completely serious. I don't want you as my girlfriend or my partner. I want you as my wife. I want Rosie officially adopted as my daughter. I want this to be permanent. Dante, we've been together for 3 months. 4 if you count the phone calls from Boston. He stands, comes around the island, pulls a ring box from his pocket. I know it's fast. I know it's crazy. But I also know I want to spend the rest of my life with you. With all of you. The ring is beautiful. Simple platinum band with a single diamond, elegant without being ostentatious. Exactly what I would have chosen. The girls already know. I asked their permission last week. He glances at Lucia and Rosie, who have abandoned their argument to watch us with barely contained excitement. They approved. Of course they did. I laugh through tears. I didn't know I was crying. They've been planning our wedding since week 2. Is that a yes? I look at him, at this complicated, dangerous, loving man who saved my sister's life, and somehow saved mine too. At Lucia and Rosie, bouncing with excitement. At the life we've built in this house that's become home. Yes, I'll marry you. He slides the ring onto my finger and kisses me while the girls cheer. It's perfect. It's insane. It's exactly right. We marry 6 weeks later in a small ceremony at the house. Just family and close friends. Valentina cries. Marco gives Dante a speech about finally being happy again. Rosie and Lucia are flower girls in matching dresses, taking their duties very seriously. And when Dante says, "I do," looking at me like I'm his whole world. I believe in happy endings for the first time since my foster mother died. The reception is winding down when Dante's phone rings. He glances at it, frowns, and steps away to answer. I watch his expression shift from happiness to controlled fury in seconds. When? He barks into the phone. How many? No, don't wait, I'm on my way. He hangs up, and when he turns back to me, I see the crime boss underneath the groom. What's wrong? The Russians. His jaw tightens. They hit one of my warehouses. 2 men dead. This is retaliation for the Colombo situation. On our wedding day? They're sending a message. He pulls me aside, away from the guests. Maya, I need to handle this. Now. Then go. I straighten his tie, kiss him softly. But, come back to me. Always. He leaves with 4 of his men, still wearing his tuxedo. Valentina finds me on the patio an hour later, watching cars disappear into the city. He'll be fine. You can't know that. I know my brother. She hands me a glass of wine. He survived worse. He'll survive this. But as the night wears on and Dante doesn't return, I realize Valentina warned me about this. The worry. The fear. The reality of loving a man whose world can explode without warning. He comes home at dawn, bloodied but alive. I'm waiting in our bedroom, still wearing my wedding dress. I'm sorry. He strips off the ruined tuxedo. This isn't how our wedding night should have gone. Are you hurt? No. He moves to the bathroom to wash away the evidence of violence. When he emerges, he finds me still sitting on the bed. Maya. Is it over? For now. The Russians understand boundaries better than they did yesterday. He sits beside me, taking my hands. I'm sorry. I know this isn't what you signed up for. Actually, I meet his eyes. This is exactly what I signed up for. You. All of you. Even the parts that make me terrified. Why would you do that to yourself? Because I love you. Because you're worth it. Because this life, complicated and dangerous as it is better than the one I had without you. I lean against him. But Dante, you have to promise me something. Anything. Always come home. No matter what. No matter how bad things get. Promise me you'll always fight to come home. I promise. He pulls me into his lap, holding tight. You're my reason, Maya. You and Lucia and Rosie. My family. I'll always fight to come home. We spend our wedding night not making love, but holding each other, reaffirming that we survived, that we're together, that we're choosing this life, with all its complications. And in the morning, when Lucia and Rosie burst into our room demanding pancakes, we go downstairs as a family, battered and exhausted, but together. That's enough. That's everything. 6 months into our marriage, I'm photographing a commercial property downtown when my phone rings. Unknown number. Hello? Maya Marchesi? A voice I don't recognize. Male, with an accent I can't place. Who is this? A friend. I wanted to congratulate you on your marriage, and to let you know that your husband has made some interesting enemies lately. My blood runs cold. What do you want? Nothing yet. Just wanted you to know we're watching. You, the girls, all of it. He pauses. Your sister's looking healthy these days. Would be a shame if she had a relapse. The line goes dead. I'm shaking so badly I drop my camera. Somehow, I managed to call Dante. Amor, what's wrong? Someone just called me, threatened Rosie. The words tumble out. They said they're watching us, that you've made enemies. Where are you? Downtown, the Morrison building site. Stay there. Don't move. I'm sending Paulo. Immediately. His voice is deadly calm. Maya, did they say anything else? Any names? Details? No. Just that they're watching. That Rosie being healthy would be a shame if I can't finish. I'm handling this. Right now. Paulo will be there in 5 minutes. Stay on the phone with me. Paulo arrives in 3 minutes, taking me directly to the house where Dante's already arranged for additional security. Lucia and Rosie are home from school early, confused but safe. That night, after the girls are asleep, Dante explains. The Russians are escalating. That phone call was a warning. They know hurting you or the girls is the fastest way to hurt me. So what do? I end this, permanently. His expression is colder than I've ever seen. Tomorrow, there's a meeting. The commission is mediating. This will be resolved. And if it's not, then I go to war. He says it simply, like discussing the weather. But I won't let them threaten my family, Maya. I won't allow it. The next day, he leaves at dawn. Valentina comes to stay with us, her presence more comfort than I want to admit. We keep the girls occupied with games and movies while I try not to watch the clock. At 3 p.m, Dante returns. It's over. He looks exhausted but satisfied. The commission ruled in our favor. The Russians will pay reparations and cease all activity in our territory. The man who called you is being handled. Handled how? You don't want to know. Actually, I do. I meet his eyes. He threatened Rosie. I want to know what happened to him. Dante studies me for a long moment. Then, quietly, he won't be making any more phone calls, ever. The finality in his tone makes it clear. The man is dead. And looking at Dante's face, at the protective fury still simmering there, I can't find it in myself to feel anything except relief. Good. Something flickers in his eyes. You're not horrified? He threatened my sister, your daughter, our family. I move closer. I understand the world we live in now, Dante. I don't like the violence, but I understand it, and I trust you to protect what's ours. You've changed. He cups my face. Since that day in the thrift store, you're harder now. No, I'm just finally accepting reality, instead of pretending I can avoid it. I kiss him softly. This is our life. Violence and protection and doing whatever necessary to keep our family safe. I'm done pretending otherwise. He pulls me close, holding tight. I love you, more than I thought I could love anyone. I love you too, all of you. That night, with the threat neutralized and our family safe, we finally breathe. Lucia and Rosie sleep peacefully. Dante and I lie tangled together in our bed. Sometimes I think about that day, I murmur, when you walked into the thrift store looking for a toy. How my life changed completely in that moment. Mine too. He traces patterns on my shoulder. I went looking for my daughter's bunny. I found a family. Was it worth it? All the complications? Every single one. He kisses my temple. You're worth it, Maya. This life we're building, it's worth everything. Outside our windows, Chicago sleeps. Somewhere in the city, Dante's enemies know better than to threaten what's his. And in this house, this fortress that's become home, we're safe. Not because the danger doesn't exist, but because we face it together. A year ago, I was sorting donations and visiting my dying sister in the hospital. Now I'm married to a man who rules half of Chicago's underworld. I'm mother to 2 girls who think danger is an adventure. I'm living a life I never imagined, and I wouldn't change a single thing. Because sometimes, the most dangerous choice is the right one. Sometimes, love means accepting every complicated, terrifying, beautiful part of someone, and sometimes, a stuffed rabbit changes everything. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you loved this story, check out the other videos on your screen. Now I think you'll really enjoy them. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next story.